You're watching BCTV, Brantford's community access station.
This is BCTV, Brantford Government Television, a service of Brantford Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of Brantford.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. The RTM will be convened on Wednesday, February 14, 2018 at 8 p.m. at the Branford Fire Headquarters, 45 North Main Street, to consider and act upon the following matters. Just a point of information, BCTV indicated that this broadcast is on Facebook Live if anybody's interested. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? We don't have a flag, but we can salute this flag over here, I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's no
We'll have to have an investigation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Item number 1, roll call.
Roll call. Representative Edelman. Present. Representative Alphone. Here. Representative Anderson. Representative Black. Here. Representative Brockett.
Here.
Representative Buchanan.
Here.
Representative Comey.
Here.
Representative Conklin.
Here.
Representative Dockenvich.
Here.
Representative Dunbar.
Here.
Representative Flanagan is here. Representative Hall. Representative Hanson here. Representative Henschel.
Here.
Representative Ingraham.
Here.
Representative Jackson.
Here.
Representative Kelly.
Here.
Representative Lawler. Representative Leonard.
Here.
Representative Preet. Representative Riccio. Representative Sandler.
Here.
Representative Stepanik.
Here.
Representative Sullivan. Representative Torelli. Representative Toohill.
Here.
Representative Walker.
Here.
Representative Wells. And last but not least, Representative Zambrano.
Here.
Mr. Moderator, I believe we have a quorum. And for ex officios, we have Selectman Cosgrove, Town Clerk Arpin, and that's it. Oh, sorry, Representative Diadamo. I apologize. You're at the bottom. I penciled you in today. So. Sorry about that, sir. Present.
He heard Z and ran away.
Yeah, I've been used to saying that for so long.
Okay, one change in the committee assignments. I'd like to indicate that Representative Ingraham will be going on Rules and Ordinance Committee, and Representative Lawler will be coming off. Item number 2, approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. And this is the two meetings basically we had on January 10th and the one also in December.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Paul. Second.
So Ingraham and Kelly.
Any discussion? Representative Brockett?
Yes, Mr. Moderator, I'd note for the record in the December meeting under roll call that my name was eliminated or not included in there, and the minute should be amended to include it. I was present that night.
I did that on purpose.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll make that change.
Thank you.
Mr. Moderator, we do have an amendment to the other two,
Yeah.
even though it said yes.
Yeah.
We're-
Oh, I'll
The
change.
first selectman couldn't be here and not here at the same time.
He's that
I know
good?
he's talented.
He's that good?
He's good. He's good.
All right, I'll make those changes.
Okay.
Brockett and Cosgrove. Okay.
Any other changes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as amended, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Item number 3, reception of communications, reports of committees and citizens petitions. I have a couple here from the Director of Human Resources, Joyce Forty. Dear Dennis Flanagan, moderator, on February 14, 2018, the town was notified that a tentative agreement reached between the town and the waste treatment plant union was ratified by the union on February 12, 2018. State statute requires that the RTM vote on this tentative agreement no later than March 29, 2018. The RTM does not take action by that date, the agreement will be considered approved in accordance with state statute. I'm requesting that the RTM, if possible, hear this at committee level in February 20th, 2018, and voted on the March 14th meeting. And this is regarding UPS EU unit number 424, wastewater treatment plant employees unit, and that will go to R&O. Another letter from Joyce Forty, Human Resources. Another tentative agreement was reached between UPS EU, the Town of Branford Employees Union tentative agreement. This will go to Administrative Services. On February 14th, the town was notified that a tentative agreement was reached between the town and the Town of Branford Employees Union, UPS EU, was ratified by the union on February 13th. State statute requires the RTM vote on this no later than March 29th and act on it at the meeting on March 14th. This will go to Administrative Services.
Where did the first one go?
First one went to R&O.
Oh, no, then an admin.
Yeah. Letter here from Representative Peter Henschel. Dear Mr. Moderator, attached you will find a proposal for amendments to the Code of Town of Branford, Section 71-3-109-2. Would you please communicate this to the RTM and refer the proposal to the Rules and Ordinance Committee for discussion and appropriate recommendations for approval? When this is read under communications at the beginning of the January 10th meeting, it would be appreciated, it would be read in its entirety. So, and I will read this in entirety. Appointment of Inland IWC and PZC Commissioners, amendment to ordinance regarding appointments, Section 71-3 and 109-2. The following is submitted to the Branford Representative Town Meeting as a proposal draft amendments to Section 71-3 and 109-2 of the town with the request that they be referred to the Rules and Ordinance Committee for consideration and for appropriate approval. Summary outline. The commissioners appointed to the Inland Wetlands Commission and the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the actions taken by those commissioners have a profound long-term impact on the quality of life in Branford. It is in the public interest that those commissioners act as highly qualified and politically independent as possible. The terms of these commissioners typically outlast the political swings in the governance of our community, and their appointments should represent as much as possible a consensus of the interests of our community. Therefore, it is proposed that Section 71-3 and Section 109-2 of the Town Code defining the appointments process for those commissioners be amended to reflect these goals specifically, and that there is clearly defined nominating process, and that the final appointments be made by unanimous vote of the Board of Selectmen. Proposal. It is proposed that legal amendments to Section 71-3 and 109-2 of the Town Code be written to achieve a defined, publicly transparent P&Z and Inland Wetlands Commissioner nominating and appointment process as follows. Nominations will be accepted from the Board of Selectmen, each political party, the current commissioners of the commission, and the general public, Branford residents. Nominees' resume and qualifications. Submitted nominations will be subject to a period of public scrutiny. Nominee shortlist. The Board of Selectmen will prepare a short list of nominees onto which names shall be accepted and submitted by any of the selectmen. Nominee interviews. The Board of Selectmen shall interview all shortlisted nominees at a time and place convenient to all selectmen. However, no contact shall be made on the individual basis between any nominee and any individual selectman during the selection process. Commissioner appointments shall be made at the meeting of the Board of Selectmen and shall require a unanimous vote. And I will send this to Rules and Ordinance.
Yep. So that is Peter H to R&O.
I have a letter addressed to me from Representative, actually it's three representatives, Representative Anderson, Representative Brockett, and Representative Sandler regarding Crescent Bluff Avenue, Branford, Connecticut. Dear Mr. Moderator Flanagan, many residents of the 7th District who own and reside on Crescent Bluff Avenue have contacted us because of the recent change in ownership of what was always assumed to be a town road. As a result of this change, there is much fear and uncertainty in their lives. These property owners come home from work only to discover property stakes on their front lawn, indicating that parts of the lawns may actually be owned by somebody else. In a bipartisan manner, 7th District Representative Anderson, Senator, and myself urge the town to take all necessary steps to ensure that Crescent Bluff Avenue will be designated a town road. These homeowners purchased these properties many years ago with the consensus assumption of the road belongs to the town. We believe this is the right course of action at the time, by making sure this road is part of the town's infrastructure, with all the other benefits it has for many years. It would be much needed relief and remove the cloud hanging over these homeowners. The undersigned would greatly appreciate the moderator referring this to the appropriate committee for action consistent with the correspondence. And again, this is from Representative Anderson, Brockton, and Sandler. I will send this to the Administrative Services Committee.
Admin. Yep. Dear Representative Adam Hansen, I'm reaching out to you as a representative from the 4th District on the RTM. I'm hoping to get a formal response from the folks in charge of the construction at the community house to several concerns about the safety and comfort of Slaney students. It's a challenge for most people who are not familiar with the area around the school to visualize the issues and easily dismiss these concerns. So I've put together a diagram to illustrate the proximity of children ages between 4 to 9 years old around the active construction site. These are the top 5 concerns: noise levels out of acceptable range, airborne contaminants, contaminated sediment/runoff, and water puddling, refuse storage, and communication with the community. Number 1, noise levels above acceptable range. Yesterday morning, I dropped off my daughter and experienced firsthand the ongoing high noise level. The school has started playing music on loudspeakers during the morning, possibly to mask the construction noise. However, even at this time, the pile driver working at the edge of the existing building was extremely loud and disturbing. The drag noise on the rig and the impact on the bottom was clearly audible all around the neighborhood. It could be heard as far back as the banks on Main Street. I was disoriented until I realized where the noise was coming from. This while just standing outside the school for a few minutes. I worry about the stress and lack of concentration about our children are experiencing with this level of noise throughout the school day. I am asking for someone to coordinate loud and persistent activities in order to protect the children from this. Can we please try to coordinate the construction activities with the instruction and recess schedule? As you can see on the diagram, children are immediately next to the construction site several times a day during recess. Furthermore, they are exposed to direct and reflected construction noise in about half the classrooms in the school. Issue number 2, wind-driven dust and debris. Can we please get some commitment from the builder that the perimeter fencing will include a membrane to contain airborne particles and debris? During the renovation of the existing building, there will be abatement of hazardous materials such as lead, asbestos, PCBs, etc. This is inevitable due to the age of the building. I worry that the strong winds and unpredictable direction will cause dust and debris to get airborne this close to 2 playgrounds where small children are playing. Number 3, waterborne contaminants, runoff with sediment. Is there a sediment basin allocated for the project? The concern is similar to the airborne issue for lead, asbestos, PCBs, etc. In addition, I'm concerned that we might have puddling and water accumulation around the site. Is the builder required to conduct West Nile virus treatments around the property? Number 4, refuge storage and soil pile. During the day, the children spend hours outside in both playgrounds. Where is the location of the demolition materials being transported off-site? We worry about the proximity of this holding area to the Hammerfield playground specifically. Issue number 5, implement consistent communication channels between the construction manager and the community of parents. We need to coordinate better. When the construction demands take away our on-street parking for drop-off and pickup. Unlike the other 2 elementary schools in town, Sliney is already not provided with dedicated parking for families. We understand that there will be some impact from the progress of the construction. However, simply telling parents that we can't park anywhere around the school is not feasible. A more holistic approach with true engagement from the affected community is necessary at this point. I thank you for taking the time to read this and for any effort to bring this up to the RTM. We need to work together to get this important project completed and ensure our children are protected during the construction. Sincerely, Celia Tosh, I'm sure I messed that up, 57 Palmer Road, Branford, Connecticut. That's it.
Yeah, we can assume. I'll send that to the building committee, have them take a look.
Jamie's got it.
Selectman
Yeah,
Cosmo?
I just made an address that.
Microphone's over here. He went short because he thought we would be short.
I did receive a copy of that letter today, Representative Hanson, so I do have it. Certainly, with anything that comes up, as I stated many times, to this body, as well as at the beginning of the session, certainly if there's anything that, I have an open door policy. Anything that comes up, this should be brought to the town's attention right away. I did immediately reach out to Ms. Tosh after writing that letter, which I have talked to her in the past and other parents as well. And I assure you, we are going to address any issues that may exist, but I do feel the need to address the ones that were mentioned. Certainly, as stated, when we approved this project, the building is environmentally impacted, and that building will be properly abated and has been abated. That is a very highly regulated process, as I'm sure many of you are aware, and all proper procedures have been followed as it went through the process. And there's many levels. There's the health department, building official, fire marshal. They're all involved during those remediation activities, as well as individual inspectors who come and monitor to ensure it's done in a safe manner. As regarding the noise, and I will just speak in communication. Prior to the pile driving activity that took place, and hopefully in a day or two will be completed, we did reach out to the neighbors as well as the school. The representative from the town, as well as a site supervisor for the contractor, had met with the principal of the school, informed them of the activity that was going to be taking place, provided contact information, and to certainly asked her not to hesitate to call if there was a significant issue. This time of year, a lot of that recess has been active inside. I assume some days they were outside, but certainly I think the level of noise inside the building, we did not hear any feedback, but we certainly communicated the activity that would be taking place and are open to hearing if there's any concerns from the staff. I did reach out to the superintendent as well to ask if he's heard anything from staff or if there was any concerns, and he had not. Regarding the parking issue, I'm sure many of you may recall, because parking was a discussion during the approval process, the school was occupying roughly, I would say, 30 spaces a day for the school activities on the community center lot. Knowing that we were starting, we've done a significant amount, or a number of counts, and it was right about 30 cars from the school that were occupying the community house lot. That's been stated prior to construction. Knowing it was going to be particularly in the winter months, we asked the contractor if he could limit the area of him occupying. And initially, when the site was, he was going to take over the site, he asked control of the entire site. However, I think it's roughly 24, 26 spots on the community house parking lot that we were able to reserve for Sliney School, as well as Public Works then painted the spots all along East Street, which got another 25 spots clearly defined up East Street, therefore to try to control the parking and make sure people had adequate parking. There was only 2 or 3 spots we temporarily restricted, right, because we gave the spot to the school, the parking lot. That narrowed our apron coming into the site, and so 2, possibly 3 sites directly across from the apron, we put temporary no parking signs just in those 3 spots, therefore allowing the trucks to get the swing in and out of the site. You know, I just, again, if there's any concerns, please don't hesitate. If you hear from your constituents, contact us directly. I mean, this is something that should not have, we shouldn't expect any constituent to wait till a monthly meeting before being addressed. So again, if somebody does contact you, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call my office and we'll address it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Selectman Cosgrove.
So were you sending that to the Public Building Commission or not?
Well,
We just
I
handled
think it's been handled
Okay.
now, the Selectmen's handled that.
All right, I just wanted clarification for the
Yeah.
minutes.
I have nothing else, you have nothing
That's
else? Okay. Moving on, item number 4, to consider and if appropriate, create an ordinance that enables tax exemptions for Gold Star parents and spouses. Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Mr. Moderator, this is an exemption, this is a tax, proposed ordinance regarding a tax exemption for Gold Star parents and spouses. And it was the sense of the committee that we make an effort to increase awareness about this proposal. And I would thank several members of this body, including Leader Ingraham and Representative Lawler, for the work that they've done in raising some awareness. After further discussion on this matter, the committee voted unanimously to re-refer, and I would put that in the form of a motion.
Motion on the floor to refer this item. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item carries. Item number 5, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from the Board of Fire Commissioners for the following budget transfer: from regular wages and salaries, $50,000, to overtime, $50,000, and from contingency, $59,156, to accumulated sick pay, $59,156. Representative Black, you guys heard it, and also Public Services. Don, want to do that?
Chairman of both.
Yes, I chair both committee meetings that evening.
It was a well-run meeting.
It was lightly attended, so. So the Ways and Means Committee in joint session with the Public Service Committee met on Wednesday, February 7th, to hear these 2 transfers. Chief Mahoney delivered the rationale for these transfers. The $50,000 request was to overtime is due to 3 openings now filled, caused by 1 promotion, a transfer, and a separation. Overtime was used to fill the needed hours, so we need to rebalance those accounts. The request for $59,156 from contingency to accumulated sick pay is due to retirements. Historically, we do not have an operational line item for accumulated sick time, as this is calculated on the individual's last day, and finance has always carried dollars in contingency to cover such events. Both transfers were voted to approve and to recommend approval by the full RTM unanimously by the 2 committees. So I move that these 2 transfers be approved. Thank you.
Any discussion on the approval? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Transfers carry. Item number 6, any other business to come before the RTM? Hearing none, do I entertain a motion for adjournment?
So moved. There's no clear.
Brockett and
Representative Dunbar.
Dunbar? Yeah?
All those in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
The preceding program was brought to you through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.